The message I would like to convey to women in this situation or situations similar, fighting with infertility or maybe infertility for unknown reasons, or maybe struggling with well-being because they are in menopausal transition. There's many situations that can affect your well-being and your self-confidence. I would say trust yourself. Don't accept a no. Don't accept an impossible, that impossible word, because actually nobody is going to engage more than yourself with your way. And that's very tricky because on the one hand, that gives you options, but you have to take these options and try to transform them.
The grit and mental determination that is really making us moving forward and really deciding, making decisions that we know that the only one risk is really to don't try, because if you don't try, you are not going to get what you really are dreaming to have.
So please grab a cup of coffee or tea, get comfortable, and enjoy this episode. Welcome to the Brilliantly Branded podcast.
Sometimes life is telling you, you cannot do that. You are not going to do something that will give you the possibility to change the path of your life. And you end up convinced about that. But this time, we are going to listen into a story that really kills all these assumptions that we cannot change our life in the moment that with grit and determination, we decide to do it. My guest today have been discovered at her 33 years old that she will not be able to live her motherhood. When she received this news, she decided to do something with that. In life, you always have two options. Or just assume what you have been receiving as a bad news, or with grit and determination, changing everything. My guest today, Irene Del Olmo. Irene, welcome to the Brilliantly Branded podcast. She have an amazing story to share with us in which she took this bad news in a medical environment and converted in a brand that I am very proud to present here today. So Irene, welcome, and I will love to listen into your story and how you have been evolving across this bad news. So my first question will be, of course, after you introduce a little bit about yourself, because if I'm not wrong, you have a background in law, have been studying many different things as well related with nutrition, and you will let us know all the details about that. But I will give you a warm welcome and let you starting by telling us who you are and where are you coming from.
Well, thank you for the warming, welcoming, Maria Lucia. It's such a pleasure being here today. It's a privilege getting to know you in person. Thank you for your brilliantly branded community. You are building something extraordinary, and it's something that all Luxembourgish should be proud of. Yeah, hello to your community also. I'm Irene, founder of Birtz Nutrition. I'm a former lawyer. I came here to Luxembourg in 2012. So yeah, it's a long time ago yet. And actually I found that I launched my project after being diagnosed with aggressive cancer at 33 years old. Well, it was devastating. It was a life-changing accident, let's say. But overall, it was the finishing of a long life dream, become a mother. So yeah, that was the starting point of my story when I got that diagnosis on a routine checkup, because I was trusting myself at 33, like a generally healthy person, like it wouldn't be any problem. But anyway, I wanted to make a checkup to be sure about my vitamin levels, let's say, my blood sugar levels, and so on. So it was like a routinary control, and then the hard truth popped up, and it was really a chaotic experience and life changing.
I can imagine. I can imagine. And for all the people that are listening right now, because for you coming back to that moment as well, I can realize how you become a bit even emotional in the sense that, well, it's coming back to that moment when you are just going for a checkup and you just receive the news. Well, do you know you are not able to have a family and this is absolutely impossible. So just to give a little bit more of context of this moment, because, when you go for a checkup and you just discover that, how was that moment? And just to bring our audience to understand how the moment did all those changes on you.
Well, at that moment, I was well settled in life. I had my profession here in Luxembourg in the legal sector. Everything was like putting itself in place for building up a family. So that was the baseline. And then suddenly it was on the Epiphany Day on 2016. So for the Spanish community, it's a very important day. It's the day that where children receive their gifts. Call it Reyes, the Epiphany Day.
On the 6th of January.
Exactly. And then, my gynecologist here called me like, come as fast as you can because I have something to tell you. And really, I wasn't worried at all because for me, maybe she's going to say, we are going to celebrate that from today you are free to start your family project to start trying to get pregnant. But actually, it wasn't. And that day, that paused my life completely, I received two bomb news. First, it was that I had a rare breast cancer. It's a kind of breast cancer called triple negative, which has it's more difficult to find because it is kind of hidden. It's a minoritary. It only touches happily 15% of all breast cancer, so it's rare. And at that time, it had not its own treatment. We had to use the treatment for other kind of breast cancer. So it was quite, I was very afraid of that. I was shocked. And the second news I received that day is that anyway, I had a critically low ovarian reserve. That actually meant that in any moment I could become menopausal, and it would be really, really, for only that cause, really difficult to become a mother. But that was the starting point, after which it came chemotherapy and radiotherapy and many things, and also obviously the chirurgical operation. So after all these aggressive treatment, which were needed,
How long that took you
it
all this
just
treatment?
8 months of intense
Treatments and
Yeah,
surgeries and
exactly.
chemotherapy
8
and
months,
radiology and everything.
8 months, everything, treatment that help you to live, that save your life, but actually that vanishes also your identity, because after the treatment, you don't know anymore who you are. You have such a brain fog. You have lost part of your identity, your hair, your well-being, your, I don't know if you are more or less smart in life, but anyway, you cannot think properly. Obviously, I was after the treatment in chemical menopause. So when you
At 33 years old.
exactly, at
Wow.
33 years old, so you are quite young. And then when you receive menopause at that moment, when you experience the symptoms of menopause being young, they are much more
Aggressive.
aggressive. They are stronger. And then, the hot flashes, they are really hot, cold. You pass your whole day sweating, and then you don't feel any confidence, any trust in yourself. It's very difficult to restart working afterwards. It's very difficult to resettle your social life. You have to go through a period of getting to know your new self. So you
Yeah.
are lost. And this phase of my life, it's say dark, but it was
It's an emotional roller coaster for sure, up and down. And what was this emotion that you was feeling identifying more during that time?
The emotion I identify the most, I should say fear. Fear, because you go through a period in your life where you finally start building up something. You are building up your career, you're building up your environment, social environment, and then when you feel confident enough, you have like your base covered, you start considering launching a family, starting your family project, and then you go through a cancer, and you go from starting to build something to just fight for your life, let's say. This is an oversimplification, but actually is what you have in mind at those moments. So yeah, the family project, obviously it vanished at that moment, because you have to prioritize your life. But after the treatment, with my doctors, we realized that motherhood will not be possible, because I was in an chemically induced menopause. But sometimes just happens that your ovaries are not relaunching afterwards. They are like kind of dormant, and they remain dormant. And this is something that you cannot foresee before it happens. You cannot know beforehand if it will be your case or not. And that was my case. So after the treatment, we were on a checkup, and we realized that the ovaries will remain in menopause.
I just wanted to make something here a bit more clear for our audience, because the word menopause is something like we associate directly with aging, right? So when we said, well, menopause, how you can have menopause, and you just explained it was an induced menopause, a chemical menopause at your 33 years old. What happened in menopause? Because I'm asking that to you to give the context to the audience, for them to have more clear information about why that happened at 33 years old, and how a chemical menopause is induced. And I am bringing this specifically topic because that is connected with the evolution of the point where we are going to start. So what was the things, for example, that you experimented during that terms of menopause as a woman, that you probably got surprised? Well, I never have been thinking about that, and thinking that have been happening.
But when you suddenly are put on menopause in your 30s or early 30s, or even in your 20s, for other illnesses, treatment, or accident of life, the body is really not ready. That means specifically what? That means that you go from having plenty of estrogens, plenty of progesterones, a good LH, for example, which is necessary for follicular maturation and ovulation, a good FSH, a good, let's say, hormonal profile. You put your brakes on, and you go next to zero. So the body is not ready at all. And then the brain fog, the skin, but also your heart and circulatory systems are put under pressure. It's everything.
It's all your organs are doing something very different at how they was working before.
Exactly. It's like they were transferred to another body. And then it's very difficult to adapt. It's very difficult. Actually, you cannot adapt. It will take several years. And even though it's your muscles are affected, and there's also the psychological part of yourself.
It's many things happening at the same time.
Yeah, you cannot imagine.
Yeah, I can imagine that you cannot manage.
No, you cannot manage.
This is impressive. But after these 8 months, Irene, and how you have been living that, and I can imagine by everything that you have been explaining here to us, what happened after these 8 months?
After the 8 months of treatment, then I'm lost. I'm a completely different person. I don't know where my life should start again. And then the starting point of all this project was actually not fertility, but the menopausal symptoms, which were very, very strong. Actually, I couldn't go on with my life. So I wanted to recover health, but not health from a medical point of view, which is you're healthy because there's no illness in there. But I meant health from a well-being point of view. I was young still, and I was healthy because I had no pathology left, but I was really far away from feeling like myself,
Good,
from
yeah.
feeling level of well-being that was just acceptable. So I wanted to somehow flush out all the remnants of the chemical
Of course.
treatment.
Yeah.
That was my first intuition. The objective aimed was to recover some quality of life. And then I said I have to promote the natural resilience of the body to flush all this out.
When was that moment in you get out of the things? You say, well, you don't have the pathology anymore, but you was feeling something like, I need to remove all this chemical stuff from my body? Or when was this moment? How did you realize that?
Well, this moment was a day here in Luxembourg when the waiter came and he asked, do you want a coffee or a tea? And I was not able of remembering how does coffee taste like, how does tea taste like, and I was like, wow, I cannot live with this. I have to meet the ancient Irene, the person I was before. I have to flush everything out, because if it's this treatment which has made me like I am right now, normally if the rests go away, I will somehow produce new cells, produce new capacities. I have to somehow accelerate the recovery time, because I'm feeling like a very, very elderly woman. So that was the starting point.
That was the starting point in which you decide to do something. So what exactly you decide to do in that moment in which you decide, well, I really wanted to change this. I really wanted to do things differently. What happened?
I started by 3 very, very easy things. First, I started to hydrate myself like very often, constantly, because it really promoted something that we can easily do ourselves in any stage of life. It's crazy the extent of this help, because even, for example, if you are not in that situation, but you have hormonal imbalance, going to the toilet in every single manner, it does help regulate the estrogen excess, for example. So I try to accelerate, that resilience, that cleaning up of the body by constant hydration. Obviously, it's water. I'm sorry to deceive you if somebody is thinking about wine.
Water,
No
water,
alcohol.
even with a little bit of salt. I put a pinch of salt to my water every day.
Yeah, that's great for the electrolytes. Yeah, that's great for magnesium. That's great for zinc, for example. Yeah, that's all right. But I was just drinking plain water, and also I really give a lot of fiber. You can combine soluble and not soluble fibers, or fiber from different sources, and this makes wonders for the cleaning up of the body. And the thing is that afterwards I realized that I wasn't motivated to resume my previous life. I was maybe not able. Let's face it, I was maybe not able, because I really cannot reach that peak point needed in the legal services, and I don't want to put my job or my structured job on a tricky situation. So I rather prefer to step back. And then I started my project silently, steadily. I start to be my own testing rabbit, let's say. Doctors had said, come back in 6 months for the hormonal replacement therapy, because it will help you with menopause and so on. But when I came back, actually, I had my period.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was
just with all the things that you have been doing all the time.
Exactly.
The fiber, just
exactly.
those things. That
and
is
at the
incredible.
beginning, At the beginning, I thought, yeah, it's maybe it's normal, maybe it makes part of the whole recovery process. And then I consulted this with the medical class, obviously, because I'm not here to challenge the expertise. And they say, actually, it's unexpected. Actually, from where you were, we couldn't expect that outcome. So wow, it's good. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. But anyway, if you have periods back, now
Irregular.
and then, they will be anecdotal and they for sure are not productive. But I thought, nevertheless, I'm going to
So
pursue
they
this
was
one.
insisting in that will be not a possibility to have a family again.
Naturally,
No.
not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. And even through reproductive processes, it wasn't possible because my hormonal profiles were quite hectic. So you need you need another ground for going to reproductive. So then I said, well, it doesn't hurt me. Actually, I feel like more vital, more alive, more like myself. So I go on and I kept reading, trying, tuning the pills. Some days I used to take up to 11 different pills. Really, Maria Lucia, I was feeling better and better and
You
better.
was okay. You was carry on, feeling better, recovering yourself. And what happened after that? What happened after you feel this power back and feeling empowered by decision that you have made after a medical decision that say to you, you know, this is something that you are not going to overcome, let's say, or your body naturally is not going to do. What happened there?
Well, and I trust my body. And then I asked to the medical class, do you think that I could qualify for reproductive techniques? And they say, yeah, go and try. And actually, I tried everything. I tried everything in 3 countries.
Okay.
Everything means really a lot because there's many, there's a catalog of treatments that you can try. They good for the body. They are hard on the body, but my dream
This
was
fertility treatment.
fertility treatments. You undergo through hormonal processes, hormonal up and downs, and you have to pick yourself in the belly every day for some periods. They are harsh.
But that was part of your decisions to
I wanted
follow.
to try that in order to become a mother. And then I tried, but nothing worked.
Nothing worked. Okay. For how long did you try this?
I tried for 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, because you cannot go to a clinic. It's not like going to the groceries. Like, today I start. No, you will start with the next cycle in the best case. Yeah, it's a process. You have to prepare your body. You have to do some labs before to allow the doctors understand your baseline. No, it's not that easy, and it's very costly also.
And psychologically as well, it will be very difficult to facing that after cancer and then overcome cancer and then to go into fertility and really seeing that is not working. So what happened after that?
You go straight to the point. From a psychological point of view, it's devastating because you have you want to renew with life. You had been threatened in your life by a potentially lethal sickness that you have overcome thanks to the treatments, that's for sure. But afterwards, you want to go on.
Yeah.
You have to, you want to create life. You want to.
It's determination. You really have determination, Irene. I love that.
But Maria Lucia, I wanted that in my life, a family. It was so pretty obvious. And in the other hand, I'm not that kind of, maternal, but it was like my movie, my film, my story, the life I want to live does involve having a kid or 2, I don't know. But, I don't meant that everyone should go that way. No,
we have
not at all.
different purposes and decisions that we make, but you wanted that.
Exactly. I wanted that for me. And I tried many clinics and I was dismissed in all of them after the treatment. That means that you pay you receive nothing. And then they say, yeah, anyway, your body is not responding. And I have a very, very hard anecdote I would like to share with you and your community, is that in one clinic abroad, after the treatments, I tried like 3 treatments. Everything failed. Not a single egg which was ready to be fertilized. No, it was really very disappointing. The doctor came back to me and said, "But Irene, what do you want to become a mother?" Ouch! But that's very intimate. But I'm going to answer you because I have so much love to give, because it's something about transmission. And he said, I'm unveiling something. And he said, well, have you considered having a dog?
And leaving that and knowing the story after that, and I wanted our audiences as well to know all the story. How was that moment in which that story started to change? What happened after that?
After being dismissed of clinics in 3 countries, suddenly fall pregnant. Naturally, and even like...
Hang on a minute. I mean, you stopped this treatment, 3 years, nothing happened, and then you just let go? I mean, what happened there?
I don't let go. I don't let go anything. I don't let go. I try to be
you
resilient.
let go to the continuing the treatment. I mean, you say, I am going to stop here, just going with the flow in life, and that's it.
Yeah, I even start to consider having a dog. No, really. I had to let go because what possibility of going further with the treatment.
You just start your life normally, applying all the things that you have learned about nutrition and about how to treat your body, doing the exercise, workouts, fiber and water.
Yeah, and fine-tuning. For example, selenium, I have been taking selenium combined to zinc for years. I'm still taking that because it's very antioxidant. It really helps reducing as much as we can the oxidative stress of cells. That helps also with thyroid, and thyroid is basic for reproductive health. So
you was, as you told me, you was being your own guinea pig, trying all these supplements as well and seeing what was the effect on you.
Yeah, exactly.
And what was the effect?
The effect is that I was feeling better and better. And even my friends were saying that you have well recovered. You even look younger. And that's pretty
people
funny.
Under comments sometimes.
No, but they want to encourage you, and it's very, it's very well intentioned.
Good.
You have to receive it like that. But the thing is that chemotherapy, it does old you. It harms your cells. So it was like, really, you really think so? And I really feel better. So it's something happening. And then I got pregnant naturally several months after the last treatments. So there was no...
How long after that was you?
Yeah, I would say like 12 months after. And I was so excited. It was like the closest moment I could be in my life from being a mother. I was so excited, but the doctor said, no, don't trust this pregnancy. It's going to be, it's very difficult that it sticks and remains and so on. And you know what? They were right. I lost it.
You have a miscarriage. Oh, I'm sorry about that.
I mean, so a miscarriage, and imagine the feelings.
Yeah, I can imagine the pain, the disappointed, the everything.
The anger, the frustration, because I thought, okay, my body had reached this point, maybe accidentally, and I will never be able of reproducing this, because even the doctor said...
At the time you was around 37, 38 years old, more or less.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's always that they say, the clock is ticking, 38. Oh my goodness. Okay, even more difficult. I can imagine that.
Exactly. Even if you are tip-top, if you are full health, they say that at 37, it's really becoming harder. I would like to speak about this, but I think I don't have the time. So...
I mean, we can have 3 hours podcast episode, but I know that the people will love to really get it into a conversation with you and what happened after that? I know that now you are going to share with us what happened and how all this brand was born, because actually this is the point in where I wanted to arrive. But as well, this part that you wanted to share with us in order to start kind of a wrap up. Let us know what happened after that.
Well, what happened, I was like submerged in depression, let's say. No, really, it was a hard time.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know, it was like an inner voice, the voice we have all in our heads, like sometimes encouraging ourselves to go, to engage with a way. And that voice told me, Irene, you should change your mind by completely. Don't consider that your body is a failure. Actually, it's mega resilient. They say, medicals say, doctors say, you will never. And you have reached a point, even at 37, where you have a pregnancy. You have had a pregnancy, okay, less than 3 months, but a pregnancy, a natural one. So they said never, and you were almost there. So actually, you should consider changing your mind, your perspective, your mindset, and try to pay more attention to that progression, which is huge.
Yeah.
And then, you know what? I was like empowered. And I said, oh, well, that's true. It's not about just feeling well. It's not about leaving that menopause, induced menopause behind. It's about really there's a progression. The organism, by nature, is evolving with these helps and lifestyle. This helps in supplementation and in food. You have to also, to engage with your health. 3 months later, I had another natural pregnancy. Like 2 in the same year. Okay.
That is amazing. That is amazing because I already know that pregnancy have a name today.
Yeah, you're right. I have, that feeling here in my skin. Yeah, that was my daughter, who is, my treasure and my everything. And we are very, very happy with her.
What is the name of your daughter?
Theodora.
Theodora.
That means gift from God, and that's what.
That's so beautiful.
she's-
And congratulations for achieving that, because you said it was a change of mind. You changed your mind. So what would you say to all the women that can feeling identify today with this conversation? How did you make that? Because with all the circumstances, all the environment, all the things that was happening, it was always saying no, 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 no. And I know that when you are receiving no, it is a point where you are going to receive a yes, but you need to be ready, be prepared about that. So how did you change your mind, or what makes you change your mind and say, I can do that. I can control that in certain way, even when nature is nature and you cannot control things sometimes. But what have you made?
Nothing impossible. Actually, the message I would like to convey to women in this situation or situations similar, like fighting with infertility, or maybe infertility for unknown reasons, or maybe struggling with well-being because they are in menopausal transition. There's many situations that can affect your well-being and your self-confidence. I would say trust yourself. Don't accept a no. Don't accept an impossible, that impossible word, because actually nobody is going to engage more than yourself with your way. And that's very tricky, because on the one hand, that gives you options. But you have to take these options and try to transform them. There's, it's kind of an energy you have to mobilize, you have to put there. And on the other hand, I felt that sometimes it's, I would say easy, but sometimes it relieves yourself when you receive like a verdict. So medicals or whoever, some authority in your life, some expert, he or she said, this is like that. And then you are like freed from action. You are freed from intention. You are freed from putting and mobilizing that energy. And even though this is damaging your soul, yourself, your way, your vision, you accept it because somehow it's not comforting, but it's like that.
It is what it is, or
Yeah,
some
it is what it
medical
is.
authority told me that. How I'm going to change that? And that is what is really impressing me the most in the things that you have been done. And I have to congratulate you, Irene, because that's what you have, grit and determination to just not believe in what other people are saying, by experimenting by yourself, but learning and getting all those books and reading and getting into the how can I change that, arrive to the point in which you are today. And we were talking about a project that you were thinking in that moment. So in which moment you think all of the things that I have been doing can help other women? What happened there that making you starting this, that you call it the project, that as well now have a name?
Birth. Yeah, actually, at that moment, I was not considering a project. I was like so astonished myself, surprised, thankful to life. Life went on, and then friends start coming and said, yeah, I was trying for several months and this and so on. Say that for my age, I have problems here and there. And I was starting counseling like a fertility coach. Yeah, obviously I had developed over the years a deep knowledge about fertility treatments, about fertility supplementation, about body resilience, about food, food for fertility, about glycemic index, everything which has a strong impact
On your body, on your health.
Yeah, on your health and specifically on your reproductive health, reproductive capacity. So yeah, I start that counseling, that accompaniment with friends, and then friends of friends. I was like acting like
that was spreading
like an official
the value.
An official fertility coach. And then pregnancies start to come. And I said, there's something here.
You're a godmother of different childs already. I can imagine, kind of.
I'm just happy that people are, happy with their lives. I'm, if you can be somehow a facilitator, if you can provide with a guide, with the small detail that can change the outcome, I'm like, more than happy. I'm fulfilled.
And talking from experience, because one thing is when probably you go to an authority like a doctor, of course, and if they say something to you, well,
you have to trust it.
You have to trust it. But then if someone have the experience, lived experience, like you have lived all these years, all these tries, and then your daughter and your healthy daughter, that is the most beautiful thing, Theodora. And I'm feeling so happy to having you here and to see how that have been evolving and end up being something that you basically materialize in a brand. So this brand, you create a brand, and I will now love that you let us know about your brand. How did you arrive to this brand, and what is this brand about?
Well, this brand is about the smart supplementation. It's not generic supplementation. I want to provide the exact formula that helped me. And the thing is that, as I mentioned before, some days I was taking up to 11 pills, and I realized there was a huge gap in the market. And my experience and the experiences popping up around me showed us. And I didn't want at the beginning to create something new, like for the sake of it, because I had my life, I had other, let's say, background. Creating a brand from scratch is a huge work. It's enormous. You have to think about many things. Only in formulation, it took me 2 years because I had, let's say, the formula that worked with me. But if you want to combine all ingredients, all molecules in one single pill, then you have to ponder, you have to check how ingredients work together, how they are going to evolve. Are they stable? So that's a work I couldn't do. Then I associate myself with a nutritionist and pharmacologist, more specifically, rheumatologist, like chemist. fine-tuning everything which is needed for a formula to be stable, complete, healthy, and effective. So it took ages. Yeah, really.
And then
2
voila,
years.
you become an entrepreneur.
Well, then no, I had a problem that sure your audience can identify from time to time in themselves also, is the imposter syndrome. So
What happened
hard.
there with that?
The thing is that I came from a legal background. I have also specialized in human rights and compliance. So I was now, I didn't felt legitimate to go into the supplementation, despite of all the research and the years and so on, and the results, tangible results. But yeah, for example, the fine tuning of the pills, I was capable of doing myself at all. I had to associate myself with experts all along the way. And then I said, I have to, now I know what I have to offer, but I don't have the fully picture. I don't know how things are working. I don't know why they are working. Yeah, it's easy to know with the antioxidants, but maybe it's less obvious with the B group vitamins, other than
All the
B9.
questions are coming there.
Yeah, so
How did you overcome that imposter syndrome finally? Because the product is here now, and I want to bring that here to this conversation because I think it's very important to see how you can bring your dreams come into the reality. And here we see, here is the brand, Birtz. It's a beautiful brand, and not just beautiful, it's substantial in the sense that have a lot of value in this box. So how did you overcome this imposter syndrome that allowing you to launch your brand, put it in the market, and changing so many lives?
Well, actually, I come from the old school, so I needed to go back to university. It's the only way of closing my own mouth, my own interior voice. I had to get to know the academic. I was in the back to the university. I was accepted by the pharmacy faculty, and I got a master on women's nutrition. And then I felt like safe. I felt like, all right, now I'm in line with my dreams.
Yeah. Wow, that is incredible because and that I'm feeling so identified with that because getting into the entrepreneurial world and putting a project in front of you that you are always with the imposter syndrome. No, but I am going to look well, I'm going to say the right things, I'm going to do the right things, I'm going to save the world in the way that I wanted to say, because we are doing things in order to really give that value. And we are always bringing this doubt, self-doubt, and that is pulling ourselves down and make us lose the self-confidence. So how did you finally get it into the point of where you are right now? Because now you have kind of at the tip of the iceberg is you was diagnosed with cancer, impossible to have a family. Now you have a beautiful daughter, and now as well you have another daughter or baby that is your brand.
If self-doubt is paralyzing ourselves, I don't know, getting us away from a result, from action, then what's the point? Is it helping you, that amount of self-doubt? Is it, I don't know, leading you somewhere? Or is it just putting yourself in a corner of a couch and waiting for a better life to come by itself? So then we have to ponder, a salutary, healthy point of self-doubt. It's all right, because nobody has the last truth, the last reason. So we have to be kind of permeable. We have to receive feedback. We have to process that feedback. That's very healthy, huh? But we don't have to block ourselves, because that leads you nowhere.
Yeah, this is the famous analysis paralysis
Exactly.
that I don't recommend either. And I think that, well, thank you, Irene, for all your explanation, to sharing the story with us, that I know that is coming back to the roots of all of the things. But the beautiful part is seeing how that have been evolving and giving to me and to many people as well that are listening to this episode the grit and determination that is really making us moving forward and really deciding, making decisions that we know that the only one risk is really to don't try, because if you don't try, you are not going to get what you really are dreaming to have. So thank you very much for being here. I know that the people that wanted to contacting you, we are going to share the link to your website, and of course, trying and having a conversation with Irene. Irene is a very approachable person here in Luxembourg located, and I am wishing you all the best in this journey with your brand and with your life as well.
Thank you very much, Maria Lucia. It was such a pleasure being here today. And yeah, I hope we will be more often in touch, because it's a very enriching conversation.
Yeah, that is amazing. I have just a last question that I am asking now with all my guests. And is, if you have to, or if you could define in one word, what will be a seed for a better world, what that word would be?
Definitely education. Education is the basis of everything. It's self-education. Education allows you to go forward, to understand the world, to understand the processes, to understand that there's, for example, diagnosis, but they are not verdicts. Diagnoses are constructed on protocols. Yeah, protocols, they provide a valuable information of where the population are going, but maybe you are not in that group, but in the other ones. All the possibilities are open with education, and this we can use it in every field of our lives.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, and especially if we start to provide that to children worldwide. Well, thank you, Irene. Very happy to having you here. Thank you very much,
Maria Lucia, and thank you to the brilliantly branded community.
Your story is your brand, and your brand is a seed for a better world. Every conversation you heard today came from someone who showed up to share honestly and trusted that their experience could help someone else. That someone is probably you. Now it is your turn to pass it on. Please share this episode with one woman who needs it. Explore the playlist and find the conversation that is picked for her moment. Because the right story, shared at the right time, changes everything. And every time this community grows, it reaches farther than you can imagine. The proceeds from our brilliantly branded live events go directly to children's education through Seeds for a Better World, the association we founded so that impact never stops. So please explore the playlist, and if you know a voice that deserves to be heard here, please send them my way. Until the next episode, ciao ciao!